Ever feel like you're going through a trial by fire?
Yeah.
I mean, like you're being tested.
Oh, yeah.
Well, today's deep dive is all about rising from the ashes. Literally. We're tackling the myth of the phoenix.
Okay.
That legendary bird who embraces flames and bursts back to life. We've got some great sources for this one.
Oh, yeah.
We've got articles from How Stuff Works, Simple English Wikipedia,
Okay.
Allocation,
Cool.
even a short story by Hans Christian Andersen
Nice.
to help us explore this powerful symbol of rebirth.
I'm ready.
Are you ready to get fired up?
Absolutely. I think what's so compelling about the phoenix is how it's flown across cultures and time.
Yeah.
It's a story that's captivated people for centuries, and we're going to uncover why.
Okay, so both How Stuff Works and Simple English Wikipedia point us back to ancient Egypt.
Right.
They mention the Bennu bird,
Okay.
this heron-like creature connected to the sun god Ra and themes of rebirth.
Yeah,
What I find fascinating is this idea that the Bennu wasn't just about coming back to life. It was tied to the Egyptians' entire worldview.
Exactly. You see, for the Egyptians, the sun's daily journey across the sky,
Yeah.
it wasn't just a physical event.
Okay.
It was a cosmic drama of death and resurrection.
Wow.
Every sunset, Ra, the sun god, was swallowed by the underworld, only to be reborn each morning, bringing light and life back to the world.
Right.
The Bennu bird, with its own cycle of death and rebirth, became a symbol of this powerful cosmic dance.
Oh, I see.
It's like the Bennu was a living embodiment of that hope,
Yeah.
that promise of renewal.
Wow, that adds a whole new layer to the story.
Yeah.
It's not just a bird bursting into flames. It's about the Egyptians' deep belief in the cyclical nature of existence. But here's where it gets even more interesting.
Okay.
Remember that Allocation article?
Yeah.
It mentioned a possible connection between the phoenix and flamingos.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Apparently, their scientific name, Phoenicopteridae,
Okay.
means phoenix-winged. Could those bright pink birds we see today have inspired tales of a fiery, immortal creature?
It's a tantalizing possibility. Now, we can't say for sure if there's a direct link,
Right.
but it does make you wonder. Imagine ancient Egyptians observing these birds,
Yeah.
their vibrant colors, perhaps reminding them of flames, and the way flamingos gather in large flocks,
Okay.
creating a spectacle of movement and color,
Right.
might have further fueled their imaginations.
I see.
It's a great example of how myths can be woven from threads of reality,
Yeah.
observation, and wonder.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
It's like these myths weren't just made up out of thin air.
Right.
They were inspired by the world around them.
Exactly.
So how did this fiery bird make its way from the banks of the Nile to the shores of Greece?
Well, that's where our friend Herodotus comes in.
Oh, okay.
He was a Greek historian who traveled to Egypt and brought back tales of the phoenix, introducing it to the Western world. And the Greeks, with their love for storytelling and mythology, were immediately captivated.
It's amazing how these stories traveled across cultures. And it wasn't just the story that migrated.
Right.
Even the name Phoenix has Latin roots.
Oh, really?
Yeah, meaning crimson, griffin, or even palm tree.
Wow.
It's almost like the name itself is a riddle, hinting at the phoenix's multifaceted nature.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes the phoenix so enduring.
Yeah.
It's not a one-dimensional creature. It can be a symbol of rebirth, yes.
Right.
But it can also represent passion, resilience, even the transformative power of fire.
I see.
It's a shapeshifter of a myth, adapting to different cultures and evolving over time.
And speaking of evolution, Simple English Wikipedia tells us that the Romans added their own flair to the phoenix myth.
Oh, yeah.
The poet Ovid gave us a vivid description of the phoenix gathering spices for its nest,
Okay.
creating a fragrant pyre for its rebirth.
Right.
Cinnamon, myrrh. It's almost like he's painting a sensory experience with words.
Ovid was a master at that.
Yeah.
And those spices weren't chosen randomly. Cinnamon and myrrh were often used in Roman funeral rites,
Okay.
subtly linking the phoenix's fiery death to the rituals surrounding the afterlife.
Interesting.
It's a reminder that death and rebirth were deeply intertwined in the Roman imagination, just as they were for the Egyptians.
So from Egypt to Greece and Rome, the phoenix myth was already spreading its wings, each culture adding its own unique interpretation.
Right.
It's like this bird was on a global tour,
Yeah,
gathering new meanings and symbolism along the way.
absolutely.
And it doesn't stop there. The phoenix continued to soar across cultures and time.
Oh, wow.
In modern Egypt, for instance.
Okay.
It's still seen as a sacred bird, appearing every 500 years.
Wow.
Its rebirth eternally linked to the rising sun.
Okay.
That cyclical connection remains strong even today.
Yeah, that's cool.
I find that so fascinating. It's like a thread connecting ancient beliefs to the present day.
Right.
And then there's Persia, where the Simurgh takes center stage.
Okay.
It's like the phoenix's cousin, sharing that cycle of death and rebirth. But Simple English Wikipedia mentions a beautiful twist.
What's that?
The Persian poet Attar Neshaburi portrayed the Simurgh as a solitary creature whose beautiful song attracts other birds.
Oh, wow.
It's this image of hope and renewal,
right,
drawing others to its transformative power.
It's a reminder that even in solitude, even in the face of death, there's the possibility of creating something beautiful and inspiring.
Absolutely. And speaking of inspiring, let's not forget about China.
Okay.
They have the Fenghuang, the Chinese phoenix, associated with the south, summer, and the empress.
Wow.
It's a creature of immense power and beauty.
Right.
But what's interesting is that unlike its Western counterpart,
the
Fenghuang didn't originally rise from the ashes. That concept came later, showing how myths can be influenced and reshaped through cultural exchange.
They're like a conversation across cultures.
Yeah.
Each one adding its own voice to the phoenix's epic tale.
And Simple English Wikipedia tells us a captivating Chinese legend about how the Fenghuang came to be. It started as a plain, hardworking bird.
Right.
But through its acts of humility, generosity, and gratitude, it transformed into the magnificent creature we know today.
Wow.
It's a story that reminds us that true transformation comes not from outward appearances, but from inner qualities.
Right.
Like compassion and selflessness.
That's cool.
It's amazing how a myth that's thousands of years old can still speak to us today.
It really is.
I mean, who hasn't felt the need for a fresh start at some point?
Oh, absolutely.
And the Phoenix embodies that so perfectly.
It does. Both Alcation and Phoenix Creative Arts highlight the Phoenix as a powerful emblem of rebirth and renewal. It's that idea of not just surviving, but thriving after adversity.
Yeah.
Kind of like how a forest fire can actually be beneficial in the long run.
Right.
Clearing out the old to make way for new growth.
And that's something I think a lot of people struggle with. Right? We tend to see endings as just that.
Yeah.
The end.
The end.
But the Phoenix reminds us that they can also be beginnings, opportunities for transformation.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's about shifting our perspective. Instead of asking, why me?
Right.
We can ask, what can I learn from this?
Oh, I see.
What aspects of myself need to be burned away so that a stronger, wiser version can emerge?
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like the Phoenix is giving us permission to let go of what no longer serves us.
Exactly.
And speaking of letting go, I'm reminded of Hans Christian Andersen's short story, The Phoenix Bird.
Oh, right.
Simple English Wikipedia gives us a synopsis.
Okay.
It's about a phoenix that's captured and exploited by a greedy businessman. It's a poignant commentary on the dangers of greed.
Yeah.
And how we sometimes try to control things that are meant to be free.
It is. And what's so powerful about that story is that even in captivity, the phoenix retains its inherent power. It eventually breaks free, consumed in flames, only to be reborn.
Wow.
It's this beautiful metaphor for the triumph of the human spirit over oppression.
It's like that fire represents our inner strength.
Yeah.
A refusal to be extinguished.
Exactly.
And it makes me think of another literary phoenix, Fawkes, from the Harry Potter series.
Oh, yeah. He's not just a magical pet.
Right.
He plays a crucial role in the story.
Alcation points out how Fawkes embodies those classic phoenix traits. The fiery rebirth, the beautiful song, and fierce loyalty. But what I find particularly interesting is his connection to Dumbledore.
Yes. Fawkes is more than just a sidekick.
Right.
He's almost an extension of Dumbledore's wisdom and power. He saves Harry from the basilisk. His tears have healing properties.
Wow.
And he even helps Harry connect with Dumbledore on a deeper level.
Right? It's amazing.
Exactly. And when Dumbledore dies in Order of the Phoenix, Fawkes' mournful song echoes the immense loss felt by those who loved him. It's like Rowling is using Fawkes to symbolize not just Dumbledore's magic, but also the enduring power of love and loyalty.
It's a beautiful way of weaving mythology into a modern story.
Is.
And speaking of modern stories, the Phoenix isn't confined to just books.
What? Really?
Phoenix Creative Arts reminds us that this mythical bird has taken flight in film and TV as well.
Of course.
Right.
Absolutely. There's the Flight of the Phoenix,
okay,
where a group of plane crash survivors literally rebuild their plane from the wreckage.
Oh, wow.
It's a powerful image of resilience and ingenuity in the face of disaster.
And of course, we can't forget Jean Grey from the X-Men series.
Oh, right.
She embodies the Phoenix Force, this cosmic entity of immense power. Yeah. Her story explores the duality of the Phoenix, the potential for both creation and destruction.
It's a reminder that transformation can be messy and unpredictable.
Right.
Sometimes the fire that consumes us can also burn others. It's a cautionary tale about the responsibility that comes with great power.
So it seems like the Phoenix myth offers us more than just a feel-good story of renewal. It also challenges us to look at the darker side of transformation.
Right.
The potential for both good and bad.
It does. And I think that's what makes it so relevant to our lives.
Yeah.
We all experience moments of burning, loss, heartbreak, failure.
Right.
But the Phoenix reminds us that we have the power to choose what rises from those ashes.
So we've covered a lot of ground here, from ancient myths to modern interpretations.
Yeah, we really have.
What I'm curious about is how we, the non-mythical beings of the 21st century, can actually apply this Phoenix wisdom to our own lives. What does it mean to rise from the ashes in a practical sense?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It is. And I think the answer is different for everyone.
Right.
The Phoenix myth isn't a one-size-fits-all solution.
Right.
It's more like a compass pointing us towards our own inner resilience.
Okay. I love that analogy.
Yeah.
So what direction is that compass pointing us in? What are some concrete steps we can take to embrace that Phoenix energy?
Well, first, I think it's important to acknowledge that burning is a part of life.
Okay.
We all experience setbacks, disappointments, even tragedies. It's not about avoiding those experiences, but about changing how we relate to them.
So instead of seeing those challenges as the end of the story, we can view them as a turning point.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that within those difficult moments lies the potential for growth and transformation.
Right.
It's like that Chinese legend of the plain bird transforming into the Fenghuang.
Yeah.
It wasn't about magic. It was about the bird's actions. Its humility, generosity, and gratitude. Those qualities fueled its transformation.
So it's not just about waiting for some external force to swoop in and rescue us.
Nope.
It's about looking inward and cultivating the qualities that will help us rise above our challenges.
Precisely.
Okay.
It's about asking ourselves, what can I learn from this experience?
Right.
How can I use this challenge as an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, more compassionate?
That's powerful.
Yeah.
But I think it's also important to acknowledge that this process isn't always easy.
Right.
Or linear.
There
will be times when we feel lost, discouraged, even tempted to give up.
Absolutely.
How do we stay connected to that Phoenix energy when we're in the midst of those dark moments?
That's where self-compassion comes in.
Yeah.
It's about being kind to ourselves.
Right.
Recognizing that we're doing the best we can with what we have. And it's also about remembering that we don't have to go through this alone.
So leaning on our support systems,
yeah,
reaching out for help when we need it, that's part of the Phoenix process too.
Absolutely. It's like Fawkes coming to Harry's aid in those dark moments in the Harry Potter series.
Right.
We all need our own Fawkes.
Yeah.
Those friends, family members, mentors who can offer guidance and support when we need it most.
I love that.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the myth of the Phoenix, I want to leave our listeners with this thought. What if we approached our challenges, not with fear or resistance, but with curiosity and a sense of possibility?
I like that.
What if we saw those moments of burning as opportunities to shed what no longer serves us and emerge as stronger, more vibrant versions of ourselves?
That's a beautiful invitation. And I think the Phoenix myth reminds us that we all have that power within us.
Right.
The power to rise from the ashes not just once, but again and again throughout our lives.
So, dear listener, as you navigate the inevitable ups and downs of life, remember the Phoenix.
Yes.
Embrace the fire. Let it refine you, shape you, transform you into the most radiant version of yourself.
I love it.
And never forget, even in the darkest of times, the spark of renewal is always within you, waiting to be ignited.